Kenenisa Bekele and Eliud Kipchoge. These two athletes are the two fastest marathon runners in history. In 2018, Kipchoge set the world record at the Berlin Marathon with his magnificent 2 hours, 1 minute and 39-second performance. In 2019, Bekele nearly recaptured the world record with his incredible 2 hours, 1 minute and 41-second performance. This time, which is only 2 seconds behind Kipchoge's world record, came as a huge surprise to many people. For the past few years, Bekele, who was an absolutely unstoppable force on the track and in cross-country, was much more vulnerable over the 26.2-mile distance. While he still had numerous excellent performances, there was still a higher level of expectation for the athlete whom many consider to be the greatest distance runner in history. These two individual marathon performances, both run at 2 minutes and 53 seconds per kilometer, are more than a minute faster than any other runner in history. In this video, we'll be comparing racing strategies, running form, pacing, and the overall significance of both Kenenisa Bekele and Eliud Kipchoge's Berlin Marathon performances. First, let's take a look at Kenenisa Bekele's 2019 Berlin Marathon. To sum up this performance in one word, wow. It really was a breathtaking race, and it's great to see Bekele running at his top form once again. One key factor in this race that was much different than Kipchoge's world record was competition. For Bekele, he certainly had the benefit of running with other runners for the majority of the race, whereas Kipchoge had absolutely no competition even after the first mile. Running against Bekele was fellow Ethiopian Birhanu Legacy, who was actually ahead of Bekele for much of the second half of the race. After about 5 kilometers of leading Bekele, Kenenisa blew by his competitor and never looked back. From kilometer 37 all the way to the finish line, Bekele was in a mad dash to break the world record. With a final 5 kilometers around 14 minutes and 20 seconds, Bekele looked incredibly fit and very determined to challenge the world record. In very different fashion to Kenenisa Bekele, Eliud Kipchoge's 2018 Berlin Marathon was anything but competitive. From the very first mile, Kipchoge had already separated himself from everyone else in the race. Essentially, the 2018 Berlin Marathon was simply a time trial specifically designed for Eliud Kipchoge. If we look at the 5-kilometer splits of each race, it's quite obvious that Bekele was chasing after the ghost of Eliud Kipchoge. It's actually quite impressive just how close each 5-kilometer split is between Bekele and Kipchoge. However, there is a very big difference between these two separate races. While Bekele's splits are definitely impressive, he had a standard that he was chasing after, and that standard was Eliud Kipchoge. For Kipchoge, he was in completely uncharted territory, and he did this totally by himself. It's one thing to run impressive splits, and Bekele certainly deserves credit for being very fast, but to run them completely solo is definitely more challenging. Another crucial characteristic definitely worth analyzing is the strides of both Bekele and Kipchoge. Kipchoge, who is always relaxed, has a very smooth arm carriage with balanced shoulders, and he also has very minimal impact when he hits the ground. Alternatively, Bekele has a much more bouncy stride with slightly more exaggerated arm carriage. This power provided Bekele with the ability to almost always outkick his opponents on the track. And while it's not a large efficiency problem, it's definitely obvious that Kipchoge is slightly more smooth when he runs. Another difference between Kipchoge and Bekele is the head position. Bekele has the tendency to bobble his head back and forth very slightly, while Kipchoge's head movement is virtually non-existent. These differences, while they are quite small, can greatly affect the outcome over the 26.2-mile distance. The one advantage I would give to Bekele over Kipchoge is his pure power. For each stride he takes, he covers much more ground than Kipchoge. However, his power is almost too much, as it does cause efficiency issues. If Bekele could somehow combine his raw power with slightly improved efficiency mechanics, my guess is that he could run even faster than his new personal best, and perhaps even faster than Kipchoge. Next, let's discuss the significance of each of these performances. First, Kipchoge's world record was almost expected. After nearly running 2 hours flat at the Breaking 2 project, his world record was almost a formality. However, let's not take away just how impressive this performance really was. At the time, Kipchoge's world record smashed the previous mark by 1 minute and 18 seconds, completely skipping over the 2 hour and 2 minute barrier. That being said, Kipchoge's complete dominance since 2014 made him the ideal candidate to break the world record. In comparison, Bekele's time was much more of a surprise. Since 2014, Bekele really only had one marathon where he was in the competitive conversation, and that marathon was the 2016 Berlin Marathon, where he ran a time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 3 seconds. For 2016, this performance put Bekele as the second fastest marathoner in history, as he was only 6 seconds behind the previous world record. Since that tremendous performance, Bekele has been battling injuries and he's had multiple racing failures. On the surface, Bekele's marathon career was going nowhere. No matter how hard he trained, he seemingly always had difficulties on race day. Because of these challenging times, Bekele's 2019 performance might just be one of the greatest comebacks in marathon history. For almost 10 straight years, Bekele was the athlete to beat on the track and in cross country, and with this newfound confidence, he's certainly a threat to anyone over the marathon, including Eliud Kipchoge. Indeed, there are countless reasons why these two athletes are tremendous marathon runners. However, moving forward, the big question is, when will these two race again? Will it be in the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, Japan? Or will they both jump into the London Marathon next spring? Regardless of which marathon they choose, it will certainly be a historic race. But who do you think has the marathon edge? Is it Eliud Kipchoge, who has consistently proven himself with an undefeated record since 2014? Or is it Kenenisa Bekele, the 5,000 and 10,000 meter world record holder who is now only 2 seconds behind Kipchoge? Comment down below and share your thoughts and reasons on who you think has the marathon advantage. Thanks for watching everyone, and we'll see you all in the next video.